Hey guys, how's it going? Just doing the unboxing today of the Rebel T2i. I just received this. I've been really dying to get back into DSLRs for about a year now, and because of the lens capabilities and the interchangeable lenses, that's really why I kind of made the jump. So this will be the last thing shot on the HF10 because I'm selling it later today and decided to step up to this. Now, I'm not going to show really any of the other lenses I have for this. I'll actually do that in another video, probably here in a week or two once they all show up. But I'll get into that. But with Canon, you always get a bunch of, I don't want to say extras because it's definitely necessities. Just like you have all the software and whatnot, as well as all of the manuals, which are definitely quite beefy, so you can get a lot out of them. But let's go ahead and actually get right on into this. And first thing, of course, you see is the Canon strap, which is really doesn't seem that padded at all. But let's just go ahead and that's the camera, so we'll save that to last. This is, of course, it looks like a charger of sorts. So yeah, it's the charger for this. So, which is kind of different. Normally these are wall mounted, but I guess the battery just may be too heavy or something. So you have charger, the cable, then you have, looks like you have, this is the 1855 lens. This is probably what'll stay on it most of the time when I'm out. I got the 50mm 1.8 for when I'm shooting videos just for the shallow depth of field. Then you have the battery as well as some cables to hook it up to a TV, and last thing I feel in here is just the USB cable. And that is all for that side. And for the actual camera side, and the important thing and last thing in the box, so let me get this out of the way. Let's go ahead and crack on into this. Now, a lot of people were telling me when I was shopping this to get the 60D compared to this because for a lot of purposes it is the same camera. The 60D just has a lot of more features kind of bridging the gap between the T2i as well as the 7D. And just some things like the articulating screen, a lot more customization. It has the LCD on the top. The jog wheel's actually over here, but just because of all those features, it would have been nice, but really not worth it since I'm really not that into photography yet. But one thing I will recommend, actually, this is kind of odd, I've never done this in an unboxing. If you guys are trying to get into photography, I actually just finished reading this. It's Digital Photography by Scott Kelby. It's actually really nice. It's not a bunch of technical jargon, it's just very simplistic. And that was actually sent to me by my brother for Christmas. So that was really nice of him. Okay, so as luck would have it, about the time I was done unboxing the camera and getting everything out, the camera just took a picture on its own. Fascinating. But about that time, the actual camcorder battery died, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up now and just do the brief overview of this, as well as really say why I got this compared to the 60D, because if a lot of you are like me when purchasing a DSLR and a Canon one at that, that's going to be a big decision you have to make, because the 60D does have a lot of nice features to it, but the T2i is also a very nice camera as well, and about $400 or $500 cheaper. So let's go ahead and just start on the top, and because that's pretty much stayed the same for the past few Canons they've had, and where you just have the shutter release button, the jog wheel so you can quickly change anything from aperture to ISO settings, your mode dial which goes from everything from manual, aperture priority to program, video, and a few presets as well, so if you want to shoot sports or landscapes or even macro, you can really customize this to what you're needing. Then of course you just have the on-off switch, which of course everybody knows what that's going to be. On the top you also just have the hot shoe and the flash itself. Now, if you're actually going to be serious about photography, do not use this. It's pretty much a joke. Get an external flash. But moving to the back now, that's again pretty much stayed the same from the previous cameras I had. I had the XT, which was 4 or 5 years ago, but really not much has changed with Canon's lineup. You just have, of course, the playback. You have the little, it's kind of a wheel shape. It's not an actual wheel as in the sense of the 60D where it has a jog wheel just like the SX200 did, but it's the nice round pattern that we're all used to where it's easy to get to autofocus, white balance, whether you want to do continuous shooting or time shooting. You can really get to it all with just your thumb and exactly how it lays here. You just move your thumb down and you're at all your settings. Now, one thing I really liked about really new DSLRs these days, if you haven't bought one, is the live view mode. So you can actually use the LCD to take pictures compared to the previous days where everything was through the viewfinder. So that's really the reason I decided to jump back into DSLRs, is because that is really nice. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much the main features of this. The difference between this and the 60D, there's the same sensor in it. The main difference, in my opinion, is the fact that the 60D has an articulating screen and also has more autofocus points. Now, the build on it is a little different. It's got a little bit more of a durable body. The mode dial is over here because on this side, you actually have an additional LCD that shows all your settings, be it aperture, ISO, the f-stop, everything is going to be right here. So because of that, it's a little bit more prosumer because you can adjust everything right here with your fingertips in the jog wheel, whereas this, a little bit more of it's on the back, so you have to really take the camera away from your face to get those settings correct. But the last thing I really have forgotten to show you is this does use SD, it uses SDHC. I want to say it goes up to SDXC, but I'm not 100% positive on that. And the bottom is where you just have the battery. And the battery in this thing, as you guys saw in the actual unboxing portion, is a beast. So I'm really hoping it's going to give a few good shots out of it. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up. The last thing really is on the actual left side of the camera itself. And that's just a microphone input. You have your shutter release. So if you want to actually go ahead and get a shutter release remote, that's perfectly a good option. I'm out of stuff to say, quite obviously. So let's just wrap this up. Because the last thing you have is an AV out and also an HDMI out, and it does come with the AV out, but not the HDMI out. But fortunately, it is a full HDMI out cable, so it's no proprietary Canon cable. But that's pretty much going to wrap this up. I mean, everything else is the exact same you see on every DSLR. You have the lens release, you have the flash button, and that's pretty much going to wrap this up, guys. So this is Nick. This was the Canon T2i unboxing, just a quick overview. I probably won't post a full review on this just because I don't know enough about photography to say if this is better than some other camera. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys what I was shooting with now, give you a reason why I got this compared to the 60D. And that's really going to wrap this up, guys. So this is Nick, and I'll see you all later.